Well, good day, viewers. Today we have a 2011 GMC van. It's a commercial van, heating and ventilation company, and it's got a bunch of lights on the dash. Got a check engine light, ABS light, brake warning light, and traction control light on. And he left me a note. He said the heater motor stops working, wiggled wires at motor, and it starts. All lights are on the dash. Right front wheel bearing had play in it. Thought that was the cause of the lights. Changed it, and lights are still on. So we're gonna scan this thing and see what codes it has to offer. What's the mileage on it? Where's the odometer reading here? That's not very good fuel economy. 253,000 kilometers, averaging 24.7 liters per 100 kilometers. That sucks. 253,857. Let's put the scanner on and see what we got for codes. Okay. So this is a new vehicle record. I don't think I've ever scanned this before. I can't find any history on it, so we're going to see if it'll auto ID. It should. I believe it's a 2011. 10th character of the VIN is a B as in Bravo. So that should make it a 2011. Yeah. 253,857, I think it was. Should have pulled the mileage. Let's do a code scan and see. Curious as to whether or not the ABS module actually responds. EVAP system performance. Lost communication with the anti-lock brake module. Lost communication with the anti-lock brake module. Go to jar circuit plausibility. It's got a hood switch. Rollover sensor, lost communication with restraints control module. EVAP system vent control. So what I don't see here is I don't see the restraints control module or the ABS module. Those are both on the high-speed CAN bus. So let's try and communicate directly with the ABS module. Let's see if it's got vehicle stability enhancement. 4 speed sensors, RPO code JL4, JL7. Well, I'm going to check this RPO code. So the RPO code list should be in the glove box, but I use this website called comp9.com. And you can put in the VIN number. It's a subscription service. I think it cost me about 10 US a month. And what was it that we were looking for? Oh shoot, I forgot now. JL4, JL7. JL4, so it does have JL4, doesn't have JL7. So we're going to go back in here. So it does have JL4, so it does have vehicle stability enhancement system. Codes menu, display codes. No communication, exit. Let us look at the airbag module. Display codes. Current codes. Oh, that's interesting. We got communication with the airbag module. Let's see if we got any history codes. No current, no history codes. Well, we do have a problem with the anti-lock brake system module. No communication with it. We got a code in the ECM regarding that. The evap code is secondary. That's likely turning on the check engine light. But first and foremost, we got to check powers and grounds to the ABS module. So here's a Mitchell version of the wiring diagram for the ABS with JL4. Shows a motor fuse 1 and MDL fuse 2 in the underhood fuse block on the left side of the engine compartment. It should be a 12 volt reference signal here. Not sure what that is for. Let's see. Oh, that's for the yaw rate sensor. Where's the wake up signal? B plus. Ground. Left frame. B plus. I don't see any serial data enable signal. That's probably it. That's probably the one that wakes it up right there. That should come from the EBCM, I believe. Well, let's check these two fuses to begin with. Fuse 1 and fuse 2. Those should be J-case fuses, I believe. So the J-case fuses 1 and 2 are these two here, which are these two next to the feeds, the maxi fuse here, or this 125 amp. So that 50 and that 40. They got caps over them, so you can't easily check them. And I'll pop the caps off and test the fuses. So I took the two caps off. You can see that there's power on both sides of these fuses. So they're likely good. So we got to go right to the ABS module. Where is the ABS module? It should be on the frame down there. And disconnect the module and see if we have the appropriate battery powers to the module and appropriate grounds. I think before we lift this thing up on the hoist, I'm going to check this ground G300. It says it's used by other stuff. Any other grounds? Oh, both of these grounds go to G300. Put all your eggs in one basket, GM. So let's find out where ground 300 is. It says it's on the left frame rail. I glanced, I couldn't see it. So let's go component locations. G300. Search. Chassis harness, ground wiring diagrams. Seven. So this is the front. Arrow pointing forward. So that is item 7. So it's where it would be on the pickup trucks, behind the cab mount, just behind the left front wheel. Well, we got to put it up in the air anyways. So G300 lives right in the same spot as it lives on the half-ton and three-quarter tons, right behind the left second cab mount. It doesn't look like it's broken or corroded. So we're going to go straight to the ABS module, which I believe is covered in ice and snow here. And we're going to clean this off and get the connector off of it and check for powers and grounds at the connector. So there's a little secondary lock that you need to pry out so that you can flip this clip over and get the connector off. I had to spray it with brake cleans and pull on it with a pick. First the clip broke. It's still not coming off very well. Well, we'll get two hands here. So here's a picture of the face of the connector. Pin 1 and 25 are grounds. So 1 is a ground. circuit 2150, and 25 is a ground, circuit 2150, and the other two pins at the other end are both battery powered. So we're going to load test those 4 circuits right now. Across those 4 pins, 2 at a time, lights the headlight. These 2 are grounds, and these 2 are battery power. So you can see that headlight is lit up. That takes about 4 amps. There's the other ground. Now there was one other serial data wake up signal. I think that's supposed to be 12 volts. Let's check that. So I've confirmed power on pin 13 and 38 and grounds on pin 1 and 25. Pin 12 in the connector view shows serial data communication enable, circuit 5986, and on this diagram it's called ignition. Now it doesn't say where that comes from, but it doesn't light a 194 side marker bulb, so there could be a problem. I got to find out where that wire comes from. Let's see if it's in this next diagram here. 5986 is the circuit number. 5986. These are just wheel speed sensors. Trouble with the OEM diagrams is they show a whole bunch of different variations. So I'm going to look around here. So I don't appear to have 12 volts on that pin 12, but I was looking at the network scan that I did here, and the fuel pump driver module is downstream from the ABS module. It goes through the ABS module to the fuel pump driver module, and we did have communication with the fuel pump driver module somewhere in this mess. Yeah, fuel pump, no codes. I don't have communication with now because I have the ABS module unplugged, so that would theoretically mean that the CAN bus is good to the ABS module and through the ABS module. We got to explore where this pin 12 circuit comes from. Let's see. Why is that in blue? Let's make sure I got the right one. Active brake. So here they label it active brake, which is JL4, but they don't give you the RPO code on this diagram. Circuit 5986, light blue wire. Says it's ignition, but doesn't tell me where it comes from. It does say C. All of this is module communication. So I'm going to look around again. So I think I found circuit 5986 originates at the BCM, connector 3, pin 19. Goes through X100 and X101, which are under the hood. And on gas engines with the LMF engine application and the JL4, it goes to pin 19 of the EBCM. Well, I'm going to see if I've got a voltage on that. Yeah, I'm going to see if I got a voltage on that wire. It does go to the fuel pump flow control module on that LMF wire as well, and that's working fine. I'm going to see if I got a voltage on the wire. I'm using a 194 marker bulb on it, and it's not lighting that, but I'm going to see if I have a voltage on the wire. So I'm using pin, I can't remember, 23 or whatever it is at this end for ground, and pin 12 at this end. And on the voltmeter it reads 0.47 volts, and it doesn't light a marker light bulb. So there's a problem with that circuit. I think it mentioned there was a couple of connectors in the engine bay, so we're going to see if we can find those. So those connectors between the BCM and the circuit 5986 X100 and X101, if it goes through those connectors, then it goes to splice J319, and then after that it goes off to the fuel pump driver module, and it's working fine. So I'm thinking the problem is downstream from this splice. So I'm going to try something else here. So you can see I'm recording the voltage. I've changed the resolution so it's like 0 to 1 volt here, and it's showing 574 millivolts. And if I flex the harness right up here beside the frame here, watch what happens to the voltage. You can see it changing. So this is a very nasty spot. Look at that. I'm flexing the harness right here. Let's turn the light on here so you can see it. I'm flexing the harness like this. Let's open up this loom and see if we can find that light blue wire in there. So there it is. Pulled the wire out, found the first light blue wire, tugged on it, and that's obviously the splice. It must be somewheres up in this area here because we only have that much wire. So let's fix this wire. So I think we found splice J319. There's 1, 2, 3 wires coming together at that splice. It's right below the T of the harness here, where, look at all the sand in here. Sand acts like a grinding compound. You can see where that splice was turned green. Well, we're gonna clean up all these wiring. This wiring, is there another compromised wire here? No, that's just residual. Let's blow this all out. So I've got a 194 bulb connected to pin 12 and ground, and I've got the wire spliced here. I've temporarily left the wire going to the fuel pump driver module disconnected because I want to see what's going to happen if that wire fails to the fuel pump driver module, if we'll lose communication. I'm going to plug the EBCM connector back in and we'll blow it out, put some dielectric grease in it, plug it back in, and rescan it. Okay, so I've got the anti-lock brake module connected again. Let's see if we can get codes out of it now. No codes present. Let's see if we can read data. So it's communicating, and battery voltage is 13.5. I got a clean battery charger connected to it. So we got vehicle speed, signals, and data. Let's do a network code scan. I still have the fuel pump driver module Wakeup wire disconnected, the blue wire going to the back. I haven't cleared the codes out of the computers yet. So now we have a lost communication with the fuel pump control module. Oh, that's because I had the EBCM disconnected. I really need to clear all the codes out. Yeah, because I had the CAN bus wires open. So that's inconclusive. Doing a network code clear. Okay, let's try and communicate with the fuel pump module. Display codes. Looks like we got communication with it. Let's see if we got data. So does it not need that wire to wake it up? Ignition 1 voltage 13.6. That's strange. Let's see if it'll start. Well, that's definitely not what I expected. I expected the fuel pump driver module to be offline with that wire disabled. So it appears that it doesn't need it. Let's see if we got any codes. No codes. Isn't that special? So why does the EBCM need it and the fuel pump driver module doesn't? Let's do one more code scan and see if we've got any codes generated by that. Look at that, fuel pump driver, 0 codes. Well, we're going to obviously wire in that wire because it's there for a reason, but just curious as to know what would happen if that wire was to fail open. Evap system vent fault control. Lost communication with TCM. Oh, maybe those codes didn't clear. No, that says they're permanent codes. And isn't that special? Lost communication with fuel pump. Let's try and go into OBD2 here. On the OBD2 side of things, the codes did not clear. Oh well, let's fix that wire. So there's the wiring harness all taped back up and rerouted and secured. I'm gonna take this thing for a road test, make sure there's no more lights. Might as well check that evap problem while I got it up in the air, but that's it for this video. Thanks for watching.